We Africans will fight if necessary, and we know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil.
In this the Diamond Jubilee of the reign of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, in this the 50th anniversary of independent Jamaica, and in this the 43rd anniversary of the death of our father Ivan George Leopold Douglas, it seems fitting that the surviving children of the union of Ivan Douglas and his first wife Edma Lord Douglas, Nee Robinson, now deceased, Joy Elena, Marlene Angela, Jacqueline Erica, and Ivan George Leopold Jr. should have our day of celebration in the Supreme Court of Jamaica, arising from our suit brought against executors and trustees of the estate of our father, Ivan George Leopold Douglas, Barclays Bank plc and National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited, for the negligence in their management of the estate of Ivan Douglas. Barclays Bank DCO, which was eventually succeeded by Barclays Bank plc, commenced operations in Jamaica in 1925 and was appointed executors and trustees of the estate of Ivan George Leopold Douglas, our father, in 1969. Including in his will, dated 29th April 1969, is a power for Barclays Bank DCO as a named executors to create a discretionary trust to which they are also named as trustees in favor of me and other beneficiaries. National Commercial Bank Limited was a creation of Barclays Bank DCO as they began the process of winding down their operations in Jamaica and selling the bank to the government of Jamaica. I do not think that it is immodest to suggest that this case has international significance with respect to the administration of trusts and estates involving minor beneficiaries. Ivan George Leopold Douglas was a structural engineer, contractor, and businessman who died testate on the 23rd October 1969 of Hodgkin's disease at 39 years old, and I, Joy Eleanor, who was 10 years of age at the time, am the surviving child who is bringing this information to you so as to enlist your support and prayers as my siblings and I fight for justice. The other siblings joined in the suit were 13, 11, and 9 years old respectively at the time of our father's death. In this first presentation, I wish to tell you something about myself, our family, what our father meant to us, the impact of his death, and the complete betrayal and devastation that was visited upon our family by Barclays Bank plc and National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited. We invite you to join us on our journey and pray for our success.
Many of you pride yourselves in being advocates of children's rights and protectors of children. Yet I have not found one organization, group, or prominent individual who advocates for the rights of minor beneficiaries in estates managed by banks. My experience over the years suggests to me that there is an almost palpable fear of confronting these pillars of establishment. Banks, institutions that hold your savings and your loans. Institutions with the resources to break anyone who challenges their business practices or their leadership. Could it be that in some ways we are still living with institutions and a mentality that characterized the times of Charles Dickens? I pray not. You may be asking, why should this case concern me? And why has it taken so long for this matter to make its way into the courts? To the first question, I can say, if you are a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, godparent, cousin, or guardian, or if you plan to be a parent, or if you are in any position where you are responsible for the care and protection of children, and most of all, if you are a victim, as we are, this case concerns you. If you have or intend to establish a trust fund to benefit minors or know someone who has established or intends to establish a trust fund to benefit minors, this case concerns you. Indeed, if you do not fit into any of these categories at all, you should also pay attention. For believe me, if our Father had a plan, and this is how it turned out, can you imagine what happens without a plan? To the second question, I would say that you will have to follow this case to understand why it can take decades and maybe never to be heard in matters such as this, let alone get justice. Why you should recognize that this could happen to one of your loved ones, and why you should join the movement to ensure that it does not. This is how powerful these institutions are. They are able to pay professionals well to hide information from you. If you are ever able to gather enough evidence, then you will find that you are accused of having taken too long to come forward.
It is my philosophy that in the pursuit of truth and justice, one may retreat, but one should never surrender. I am inspired to see this through because of the many struggles and sacrifices made by others around the world in the past and at this time. I wish to publicly register my love for Nelson Mandela, who changed my life when I read his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, in which he acknowledged his human frailty and taught me the power of patience. More recently, the Arab Spring, Occupy Wall Street, and the result of the elections in Greece and France have added to my resolve. Despite the turmoil in the world at this time, these two movements and the election results remind us of the power of the individual, the power of a heightened sense of self-confidence, the sense of right and wrong, the right to seek justice and claim one's own destiny. I stand with these brothers and sisters challenging the foundation of the banking system in the world, a system that has been allowed to exploit the vulnerability of children at a very difficult time in their lives, the loss of a parent or parents, a system that appears to be immune to transparency and accountability, where laws have ensured that no justice is to be found by the victims of the system, where lives are severely damaged or destroyed through complicity and indifference, not by weapons. As I have been finalizing this piece, news has broken of the latest scandal over the role of Barclays and other UK banks in the latest LIBOR fixing conspiracy. This news could not have come at a better time for my siblings and me, as it proves once and for all that the institutional culture of Barclays Bank has always enabled this kind of behavior. It has just not been detected. Indeed, very few persons have wanted to know the truth about how institutions such as these operate, as long as they received a good return as shareholders. Well, brothers and sisters, you are going to learn that when it comes to the administration of trusts involving minor beneficiaries, You may have been making a profit on the backs of these children.
There is no doubt that the pursuit of justice, as with self-determination and freedom, involves challenging the system of government and laws if necessary, and grappling with fear of the unknown. It is sometimes difficult not to feel alone and exposed, especially when dealing with formidable foes who utilize overt and covert means to indicate that they will crush you, destroy you, financially and professionally, distort and tarnish your reputation, cause the public and even close your relatives and friends to question your honesty and integrity if you persist. Does this sound familiar to some of you? I ask, however, is there any other way? Is there any other path? Especially if one has tried repeatedly and failed to engage the parties involved? Don't get me wrong, we know that some persons who work in financial institutions would like things to change so that they can do their jobs and be proud of what they do to protect, change, and enrich lives. The rally cry goes out to those persons as well. Do something or you are complicit. Well, we are at that point, and our very souls, our very existence demands that we try ourselves and we reach out for support to those who have been or are going through similar struggles.
We, the children of Ivan and Edma Douglas, reach out to our brothers and sisters around the world who have gone through and are going through similar experiences, or who simply strive to be human. For those of you who, like us, lost a parent or parents when you were a young child, know the emotional and psychological pain that the child goes through, a pain from which some never recover. When one adds to that deprivation brought about by those who were entrusted with your care and welfare, the sense of betrayal is profound. You carry this through life, and it affects your view of yourself and of the world around you. It matters not how long you live, you carry that pain to your grave. Hopefully, you are able to use that pain as a motivation to live your life to the fullest, no matter what. That is the ongoing challenge.
Well, the experience either destroyed my siblings, Gertrude and John are deceased, or so traumatized them, shattered their sense of self and